How your lawn looks says a lot about you, so put your lawn care maintenance into the hands of someone who really cares. They're reasonable, experienced, reliable, licensed, and insured. They are Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. Commercial and residential services are available all year long. Call or text them today for a free estimate. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio, 419-708-0005. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Tim's Tidbits on a happy hump day, supposedly, with Smooth Tim and Larry E. What is happening, Larry?
Same old, man. I could complain, but I'm not. I'm here.
All right, you finally made it, and it's, well, hey, you got to figure, it is a Wednesday. We are halfway through the week, so no matter how bad it is, we're on the downslide of it all and heading for the weekend, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what is important. How's things else in Texas doing? Everything okay down in the big Dallas?
Nah, it's still jacked up, man. It's just moving along. Inflation, gas done went down a little bit, heat done went down a little bit. Uh, Women's attitudes went up a little bit, kids' attitudes went up a lot of bit. So
they back in school now, though, down there, right?
Oh, they back in school, but now it's like I'm back in school. I'm like, man, it's got me a GED. I went to college later down the line, but I'm like, this new math they doing. I'm like, come on, man, it's testing.
They trying to make the mom and dad look stupid so that you lose faith in the family unit. Mom and dad can't even do this math shit.
This math and I can understand some other stuff, but math, I don't know what they're thinking about. The crazy part about math is universal. For people who know it.
Know it.
Yeah, that's the key. Know it. That loves it.
Hey, let's rock and roll, man. Let's get on with the show. And I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. The president went to Philadelphia, where they signed the Constitution. They gave a speech the other night, and he actually called out Trump and I guess the mega extremists. So take a listen to what he has to say. Let's come back and check out if he maybe was on point or overboard.
Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Now, I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans. But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country.
Well.
Well, I agree with him.
Hang on just a second, my friend. Boom, get on the tip. There we are. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree
there we go.
100% with where he was going with that conversation. And I
Well,
think
you know,
it's about time that he got up there and actually said it.
well, the crazy part about it is, like, a lot of people always get mad at the gay pride people that are extreme. They got mad at the Black Panthers. They got mad at the Civil Rights Movement. They got mad at all these other extreme movements, and made it like it was a big deal and it was a curse to our country and it wasn't good. Now, come to 2022, they're doing it. You see what I'm saying? They're contradicting everything that they stood against, and they're doing it now for no apparent reason, and they're doing it for selfish reasons.
No, I want to be, and to be perfectly clear, he's calling out the extremists, the election deniers, these people that get rid of these people who have any type of a democratic relationship and string them up, hang Mike Pence, all these. That's who he's directing this conversation to. Not your normal, everyday Republican. He's talking to these extreme idiots.
Yeah, and it's like they're just doing that because they don't want to lose control of the Republican power stranglehold on America, which it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it's all about the people, which they got to get back to the people. And they still got to work with Democrats whatsoever. They make it like the Republican Party has been here forever, and all of a sudden now the Democratic Party has stepped up and moved them out the way. They make it like it's never been any other party in the history of parties. There's always been other parties.
Right.
Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, whatever, right wing, left wing. There's always been all kinds of parties, but all of a sudden they're losing. They're losing ground. They're losing their stranglehold. They're afraid that they're going to lose all this so-called artificial power that they have.
They just need to learn to reach across the aisle to each other and get some shit done. I mean, there's so much extremism on both sides, and I mean, you look at some of the TV on that particular speech that Biden gave, and they're you're bashing all the Republicans. Is that the Democratic view? No, he's not bashing all the Republicans. Listen to what he's saying. Number one, don't pick and choose what part of it you want, and edit out.
That's how people are. Selective here. Listen, that's how the people are.
He's trying to make a point out of what is going on and what could possibly going on and what keeps perpetuating going on. And, it's never ending.
Well, they're going to have another government shutdown because the parties can't get along and they hold the power and the people are going to suffer. It's a typical. He's already president. They didn't want him there mudslinging to his finest, at his finest. That's all that's going on now. Instead of the parties supporting each other and meeting on a common ground and then treading the way for the working people, the hard class working people, the taxpayers to move forward in life, they're just creating barriers and obstacles to hold us all back. And they're using particular groups, and that's what's happening. And it's causing people to form their other groups. Next thing you know, we have a big ass civil war.
Well, I mean, and look at some of the candidates that are coming up. You got Dr. Oz, Herschel Walker, J.D. Vance, this guy that's toting guns around, and I mean,
what about they got to be all the hollering? The machines are taking over.
He's not running for anything. He ought to just run for cover. He's just off the chain.
Can't forget a couple of the assholes of the week. She's running,
but I mean, it's kind of sad to think of.
And those are the people, that's our leaders. That's going to teach our children and teach their children to be around our children when we long and gone, or if this country is still here, surviving, hanging on. They're going to be the ones that have their family members in office, and they're teaching them that bull crap. When does it stop?
Yeah, and I think Oz is calling out the guy that he was running against too, because he was up and he had some type of, the guy's had a stroke or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure. They were showing his speech, but he has some, issues when it comes to being able to articulate what he's saying correct. And so he made it kind of short and brief, and he stammered and stuttered a bit. And like Oz is calling him out, and we should debate, because of course he could probably tear the guy up.
Yeah.
He's got a disability. Now, what is the point of you trying to say that now this disability is going to get in the way of his being able to be a leader. But TV hosts can do a much better job.
It goes to show you that the weak are going to prey on the strong. I mean, the strong are going to prey on the weak and try to keep the weak down. That's all it is. He has an advantage, a sure advantage, and he knows this guy has a weakness, which is nothing wrong with having have a stroke. It's part of life.
I'm not 100% that that's what it was, but yeah, I mean, listen to the guy's speech, and he had some issues in being able to articulate, as you said.
What happened to love conquers all? These guys, they don't show no love towards each other whatsoever. It's negativity, negativity, negativity. And all the negativity is being pushed down into the American people, to our community, our society, and everybody's just living off that negativity. They're just feeding off of it.
Exploit all the weaknesses and then blame it on the particular party that they're associated with.
Yeah, and then everybody's feeding off of it. I'm like, blacks are feeding off of it, whites are feeding off of it, black extremists, white extremists, Hispanic extreme, whatever extremist that you are, everybody's feeding us all this negativity, and no candidate or no politician is actually showing love towards each other party. There's always some negativity, it's controversy, whether somebody going to the Supreme Court or whether it's just a candidate trying to do the right thing or giving college students money back, whatever. There's always some negativity, man.
Well, even within the own party. Now, the one thing that I don't hear, and we'll jump over to the next one real quick, is, I don't hear, like a Democrats call each other dinos or whatever, like the rhinos, right? I mean, it's interesting that I see even division within the Republican Party. I mean, there may be in the Democratic Party, but I don't think it is as prominent.
They do, if it is, they do a good job of disguising it.
It's a little bit more covert, I believe. But
strength and unity. And the Democratic Party right now is stronger. And it's got to be something going on, because the Republicans are kicking up all this dust and starting all these problems outside of what's really going on, just to create the smoke screen. It shows them how weak they are.
Well, when you've got leaders that decide that they're above the law, let's take a look at that.
A more detailed inventory of the 33 boxes taken from Mar-a-Lago shows classified documents were stashed in containers filled with other miscellaneous items. In one box, 7 government records marked top secret were mixed in with magazines, newspapers, and other articles. There were also 43 empty folders with classified banners. Overall, more than 10,000 government records with no classification markings were recovered.
Even if they're classified, even if they're subject to executive privilege, they still belong to the government.
Former Attorney General Bill Barr is skeptical of his former boss's claim that he had declassified top secret files.
If in fact he sort of stood over scores of boxes, not really knowing what was in them, and said, I hereby declassify everything in here, that would be such an abuse.
There could be no more vivid example of the very real threats from American freedom than just a few weeks ago. You saw it when we witnessed one of the most shocking abuses of power by any administration in American history. The shameful raid and break-in of my home, Mar-a-Lago, was a travesty of justice that made a mockery of America's laws, traditions, and principles before the entire world. The entire world was watching, and they're shocked.
They're shocked.
No, Trump didn't. What about the the attack on the Capitol, man? What is that? That's jacked up. He talking about one of the misuses of power. This dickhead, he has to be the asshole of the week, because there's no way in the hell he can stand there and say the misuse of power, what he convinced those hillbilly hicks to go do to the damn nation's capital. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, look at it is so funny to look at the situation in which he's got all these classified documents. Right, some of them have to do with covert secrets for the United States and other countries, right. And he's got them mixed in with Time magazine or who Lord knows what, how he squirreled these things away, right? I mean,
Hey,
wherever he stuffed, and then he's saying, what's the problem? Well, they came
the
and
crazy.
they asked you for all these documents, and then obviously you still didn't give everything back that you should, and now you're up there, making accusations that the world's against you because you didn't cooperate.
For one thing, the world's not against him because I saw the people standing behind him. And on top of that, he already had issues with Russia. He had issues playing golf with was it Pakistanians?
Mm-hmm.
Who was he playing golf with?
Oh, Saudis.
Saudi. So okay, now he got all these documents. Then he took them from the White House. Am I correct?
Say, excuse me? Yeah, took them
Didn't
from
he
the
take
White House.
them from the
Yes.
White House?
Correct.
The
Well,
presidents, they don't actually stay in the White House. Am I correct?
they
Don't live there. That's not their place of residence while they're the president. Am I correct or am I wrong? Because
the president the president stays in the White House, and I mean he has multiple residences. Obviously, Trump used Mar-a-Lago as a residence. I think he used Trump Tower before his problems in New York with his legal
So he
issues in New York.
Yeah. So he actually didn't just stay in the White House the whole time. So if you didn't just stay in the White House the whole time, why are you taking shit out the White House, man? Why are you taking documents out the White House that were probably there before you got there, knowing that you had the issues with the Russia and all these other countries that we don't really get along with, and then you going and doing something like that just to bring even more heat on you? Classified documents, how we know you're not taking those documents and use them in a negative manner where you're giving away our secrets.
You don't know what condition it was presented to him, and he could have been out on the golf course. Let's put that scenario into place. I'm out on the golf course and something transpires where I need to have some confidential information, and Secret Service, whoever may be.
Ain't nobody be playing golf and then pull out a sheet of paper. Yeah, okay.
I mean, who the hell? Well, look, I mean,
we got to check out this missile launch code. And
never say never. I mean, you got to. Bush was doing what? Reading a story to kids when they hit the trade center, right?
I'm just saying, Trump.
So I mean, don't never say never. But
Trump wouldn't even worry about COVID. COVID was kicking everybody's butt. He playing golf like, oh, it'll pass by. Oh, wait a minute, forget COVID. Let me check these launch codes to make sure we while each other on hold now. Come on, man.
More importantly, did you see I got a hole in one?
Hole in one, and then I got these boxes of classified documents. Put those on the card too. I gotta read these on the way to the next hole. Come on, Trump.
But yeah,
I'm like, come on, man. He's the only president. Who else? Did Nixon do that? No, Nixon was Watergate. But no other president I've ever known actually had that issue with taking boxes of documents or secret documents or classified documents at the White House for what? And that's extra work.
And I think, I know that, like they said, Obama has some documents that I know that he's archiving or they're doing stuff with, but at least it's from the best of my understanding with the situation, that's under control. It's with the National Archives. They're well aware, and it's nothing that's super sensitive. It just happens to be whatever kind of memories, I guess, Barack wants to take with him.
I'm saying I think Trump had those guys that was in the back of the U-Haul truck to pull up, and he put all those documents in there and drove them down to us. I think they just got caught before they got the second load of classified documents.
You still blaming them.
I'm saying, you gotta get your ass in the back of a U-Haul truck as high as it is with some guns and dressing all black. Man, get out of here. Okay.
But,
can't get rid of that.
But you know that he is asking for a, what do they call it, special master on all of this investigation when it comes to the documents that the FBI seized and what they can do with them. If you caught this, he asked for a special master to oversee what can be used, what can't be used. We'll check this video out, come back and talk about this crap. This is insane.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. As we begin the readout tonight, one day after Donald Trump got on a stage and called federal law enforcement vicious monsters and the president of the United States the enemy of the people, we got a prime lesson in just how effective it is when a corrupt president is allowed to put so many judges on the bench. That's because a federal judge who Trump picked today did him a huge favor, to put it in Trumpian terms, on an investigation that could not be more critical to our national security. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon released her ruling today granting the request by Trump's legal team for a special master to review the material seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort and residence to look for any privileged material. Now, while that process unfolds, the judge is blocking the Justice Department from continuing its investigation into Trump's theft and grossly negligent mishandling of classified documents. Now, not only has every single federal prosecutor and former Department of Justice lawyer that we have spoken to on this show said there was no need for a special master in this case, so did Trump's own former Attorney General and fixer, William Barr.
I think the whole idea of a special master is a bit of a red herring. What people are missing is that all the other documents taken, even if they claim to be executive privilege, either belong to the government because they're government records, even if they're classified, even if they're subject to executive privilege, they still belong to the government and go to the archives. If, in fact, he sort of stood over scores of boxes, not really knowing what was in them, and said, I hereby declassify everything in here, that would be such an abuse and shows such recklessness that it's almost worse than taking the documents.
Hey, Trump was smart.
So anyhow, yeah, so him and his attorneys go to this Eileen Cannon that he appointed in April of 2020. She's South Florida district. And so, hey, you know, he just makes his little trip. He could be in probably Mar-a-Lago area, who knows? You know, and says, hey, listen.
He planned ahead. You got to get that to him.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that kind of gutless? I mean, let's think about that.
But when you plan that far ahead and you plan, how can I say it? Plan chess like that. I mean, you messing up.
You got all the people. Yeah, obviously he had the pieces in place. Mm-hmm. Now he's got this Eileen Cannon in place, and just like I said, you watch. You know, all these other people, if they do have any type of legality, culpability, and people have to do some type of a stint for it, a crime or whatever the case,
they're gonna snitch.
Well, he's gonna let them off. I told you he'll end up. I'll pardon you. I'll pardon you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's very
Don't
true.
worry
If he
about
gets back in office.
And just like this Eileen Cannon, hell, she'll probably get appointed to the Supreme Court.
She probably, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's gonna let them all off. He let Kodak Black off. I know he'll let Eileen Cannon off, damn it.
You know, oh yeah, she's she's on his good list. She's definitely getting a good Christmas present this year.
Right. Oh man, this guy's a trip.
But it's interesting how things can be manipulated.
He's so commercial, man. I'm like, how you can even really take him seriously as a politician or even as a president? Everything he does is messy, is tacky, is unprofessional, and he just does not belong in office because he's so unprofessional, and he just, it's a joke to him.
But the stupid thing is he gets the job done.
Well, as a president, you got
as horrible as it is, as many people that he throws under the bus, as many people as he steps on, as many people as he screws over, he gets done what he wants done.
Yeah, but you surround yourself with people like that do all the jobs. You delegate. You ain't really got to delegate as the president. You just got to do the public speaking and then maybe listen to both sides and, okay, we're going to, whatever the hell they do. They don't really have to work. They got so many people in place to take care of everything. They just get the last word, honestly. They really get the last word. I'm like, they got lawmakers and enforcers. They got everybody else around them. You know, so I'm like, that's probably the easiest job. That's the easiest hustle in history, being a president. God damn it. It's the easiest hustle. I ain't never seen a broke president, a broke politician. I ain't never seen a president sweat. I ain't never seen a president complain about working long hours. I ain't never seen a president complain about not going, I ain't got my vacation, or this, or my check is short, or you ain't got no hours, my car broke down, or I can't pay electricity bill. I ain't never heard them. I'm like, you ain't got no worries. So that's the best hustle.
Yeah, you did. My Secret Service won't drive me to the insurrection.
My microphone ain't working. Larry late for the show again. You ain't worried about none of that.
Yeah, that's right. And if you have the people in the right place, like they do in Coffee County, Georgia.
Uh-oh.
Now, I know you got it. Let's check this out. And I say, if you have the right people in the right place,
you always gonna win.
Now, just into our newsroom, we now have video of the former head of the Coffee County Republican Party apparently allowing data collectors into an election office just a day after the January 6th insurrection. This is video of state investigators they're looking into right here. Reportedly shows Kathy Latham letting data collectors in on the same day as a reported data breach of the Coffee County election server and voting machines. Now, both the Georgia Secretary of State's office and the GBI report they are investigating this breach. And according to Fulton County special grand jury documents, former Trump attorney Sidney Powell is also connected to this data breach. We will keep you updated on this developing story.
Yeah. Come on, man.
So yeah,
I'm like this. How you gonna not win a rigged election when you got everybody in place? They got cameras. Come on, man. They just doing stupid stuff.
This Kathy Latham, I mean, and she is the chairwoman for the Coffee County GOP, and she's letting these people. This apparently, one of the guys in the video, he was also was whatever agency was trying to look for voter fraud in Arizona also. Mm-hmm. I can't think of what this software company was, and they made some bogus claim, and then it was debunked. Same characters. But there again, now you've got a chairwoman. Oh, now wait, even better yet. She is one of the fake electors that went to Washington, D.C. on January 6th. And gave, and said, that Trump won the election, not Biden. Yeah, man. So she's all into that too. So yeah,
we can say it this way too. We can say God had a little play in this because they did everything they could do. They could have done for Trump to win this election, and he didn't win. Even now, after it's over with, he's still trying, still pushing. He's not going to get it. He's still doing stuff on the outside. He's not going to win. I'm like, God doesn't like ugly, and what he's doing, he's manipulating people, black, white, Hispanic, whatever, whoever likes him. He's manipulating people for the wrong reasons, and he's doing it all for his own benefit and for the benefit of the people who are putting him in office, who are supporting him and stuff like that. And I don't mean put him in office, supporting him like the American people. I mean, like the higher up, the suits and the ties. That's who he's taking care of. And plus Kodak Black. Then because I think he let Kodak Black off. He pardoned him. I don't know why. But it's just pathetic, man, because all these people just got all this trust and love in this guy. And it's like a scam. It's a setup. It's a big setup and scam. It just looks fishy. It smells fishy. Everything about the whole thing is fishy. And people are getting sucked into this thing, and it's all fishy. But the crazy part is it for Trump or is it for the Republicans? If Trump were a Democrat, would this be happening? Or is it just for the Republicans? I'm thinking that if Trump wasn't Republican, it wouldn't even be a big deal.
I don't know, Larry. That's a question for everybody to ponder.
Yeah, because I've never seen this much controversy over the presidency. He started with President Barack Obama, and then he got in office. Now he's messing with Biden. So he had his turn, and he sucked.
Speaking of Obama, real quickly, before we move on, you see he was back in the White House today for the first time since he left the office.
I don't blame him.
And that was because, you know how they have the presidential portraits of the president and the first lady?
Yes.
Well, yeah, they put those up apparently today. And I guess beforehand it was that Trump didn't really want him there, and Barack really didn't want to be there when, so, you know, he just kind of said, I can put that shit on hold until a more friendly, a better atmosphere comes into play.
Blame him. Can you imagine if Barack would have came there and left? Trump would have been like, President Barack Obama stole some classified documents. Trump would have had a lookalike that looked like President Barack Obama and the first lady.
Showing him in there sneaking around the Oval Office.
Sneaking around. That ass a lookalike. They were stealing shit. He was running smoke. Barack was shooting basketball. Yes, President Barack was shooting basketball. Still Obama, she exercising. They running sprints
there
down
you
the
go.
hallway.
Yep, just messing around with everything. Yep, tearing the place up.
Yeah, just dirty, man. The president of lookalikes, and then he probably, yeah, man. I'm glad he didn't go. He's smart because I wouldn't went either.
Yeah, let's move on, man. Let's move on. Racism in our society. Let's just know that it's fantastic to know that racism is alive and well in the good old U.S. of A. You know, so check us out.
Do you guys know you're not supposed to be drinking outside in public?
Yeah.
How did questions about an open container of beer turn into a violent takedown by police, sending a man to the hospital and to court on several charges, including felony resisting arrest? But those charges are now dropped.
And the spotlight is turning to the actions of those Marin County police officers. ABC 7 News I-Team reporter Dan Noyes is here with an investigation you'll see only on 7. Dan.
Amma and Dan, that man's attorney and experts in the field tell me this should not have happened, that those officers used excessive force, and that at least one of them lied in his official report about the incident. A warning here, some of these pictures are disturbing.
Along an industrial section of San Rafael's Windward Way, beneath the power lines just past the Canal District Community Garden, day laborers gather after work to socialize, eat, and drink.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? There's like a whole bunch of beer over here.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
On this evening, July 27th, San Rafael police officer Daisy Mazariegos confronts 3 men, including a popular Marin County gardener we'll call Mateo. He asked me not to use his real name.
You know, I don't have nothing to say.
You don't have nothing to say? You're just out here drinking and you think it's funny?
No, it's not funny.
Okay.
Then in Spanish, Mateo explains he and his friends like to drink beer after a long day of work, and that they come to this area because neighbors at his apartment complex complain when they're loud.
¿Dónde está tu ID?
¿Para la mía?
Los tres.
Mazariegos asks for ID, and the tension builds after Officer Brandon Nail arrives. 6'2", 250 pounds. He towers over Mateo, who was just 5 feet tall, 130 pounds.
Hey, sit the down. Hey, you don't have to talk to me.
Well, I told you to sit down.
I know.
You know what?
Yes.
It appears Mateo is trying to cooperate, but he has difficulty finding his ID without standing up to reach into his pockets.
Take out your ID,
I know. I have to take it out, but I have to take it out to take the ID out, you know?
Just sit down. Just sit down.
I know, but you have to understand.
Okay.
Hey.
Stop.
You can see from his body cam that Officer Nail forces Mateo to the ground over beer bottles, punches him in the nose, and pushes his face into the rough pavement.
And it turns out he had a
Boy, that's it. They happened in the United States.
Yeah.
Man, they beat up on black people, beat up a white guy last week. Now they beat up on Mexicans.
It's Latino. I mean, I looked at that and I'm like, what did he really do? What did he do so wrong? You know, give me your ID, okay, and then sit down. Now give me your ID. He stands up to give him his ID. Now sit down, and he's like, "You want my ID? Why aren't you giving me your ID?"
Stooges or something. You know, the Three Stooges. Remember the Three Larry, Curly, and Moe. That's what it looks like. I'm like,
what the hell is going on here?
They just spreading this ass whooping around to everybody. These cops just okay. I'm just waiting to see them. I guess next week they can whoop up on an Asian. Then I guess they got to catch what else slipping. Whatever we got down there, we got everybody in America. I guess they're gonna just every week they're gonna take turns whooping up on an ethnicity of people, race of people. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I didn't show the entirety of that video, but there's once they move a little bit, you can see there's quite a bit of blood on the ground, and I mean from him getting either I don't know what his head slammed into the ground or the glass or who the hell knows what, but I'm sitting there thinking what did all that transpire over? You know what, an open container.
Open container, the guys wasn't hurting anybody. Full days of work. And now the bad part about it all this is, Tim, the bad part about it is that man probably was in jail for a couple of days and a lot of people didn't get their yard cut. So Like, so I'm like, shit, what the hell is Mateo? He supposed to been by here at 5. What the hell is
Now wait a minute.
he in jail?
Yeah.
Well, we'll cut my shit then.
No, don't make fun of the day laborers. But I mean, if people aren't from down around in Arizona, Texas, and they don't know how the day camps work, but yeah,
everybody needs to be treated with respect.
But like, I mean, they don't cause any problem. I have never seen an issue at one of the day labor camps. These guys are sitting around. Sure, they may be bullshitting, they may be drinking beer. You never hear them hassle women or hassle anybody for jack shit unless you pull up with a U-Haul. Then they're going to be flying. But otherwise, right?
Tim, you know, I'm from Texas. They got the Traders Village over there. They walk around, drink beer all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I sit outside. If I'm outside by my car, I might sip on a beer or something. If I'm sitting out there with a friend or something like that. At the end of the day, is a law. If you belligerent, you're causing a problem with open containers of beer, the police officers have every right to detain you and hold you accountable. But if you just sitting down enjoying a cold brewski after hard days of work, whether you're a day labor, whether you're a white day labor, black day labor, Asian day labor, it doesn't matter. If you're not harming anyone,
you why need to get treated
with respect, huh?
Yeah, why are you messing with them?
Yeah, homeless people. You need to, if they're not messing with anybody, why mess with them? They need to get treated with respect. And the crazy part is, it's like it's Mexican on Mexican crime. You know what I'm saying? So it's spread it. It happened. I guess being a cop gives you the right to be an asshole.
Well, let's keep it real. Okay. Let's take it from a DFW mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what those people are doing. And I mean, and he, being a professional law enforcement officer from that area, knows what those people are doing. So why come up with that attitude? Because he's got a problem. He's got a racial problem. He doesn't like them. Because you know they're not causing problems. You know what they're doing. You know they're struggling. You know that they may be able to
illegally.
They're probably here illegally.
Okay, well, who isn't?
But
who isn't?
Yeah, why dick with them? Is that a reason to dick with them?
No, I'm like, they perfectly mind their business. And then they were trying to do the right thing by going somewhere because neighbors complain. Okay, now, if neighbors were complaining, they were out there being assholes, yeah. Okay, but there was somewhere, parks, and you go to a park, you'll find people sipping on some brews or something like that. They probably didn't have a park in the area. They could have just went around there and cut a park. They could have just landscaped the park or something. I don't want to landscape the park all day and then sit in the same park and drink my beer. I want to go somewhere else and drink my beer.
Well, you got a perfect idea. Then what they need to do is they could create little Doras, right? Like they have in the cities now. I mean, you know, those designated outdoor drinking areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just petition the city. Now we need this little slum part neighborhood where down from our project apartments, you know, designated a Dora so the cops don't screw with us while we're drinking.
Yeah, and then you let the cop post up. If somebody up there getting their drink on, they drunk too much, they driving off drunk and driving wobbling, bust their ass.
Yeah, and usually that's a bicycle because none of them have cars.
Yeah, I'm like,
I mean, let's keep that real too.
Yeah, I'm like, they laborers, they don't really have cars. No. I see in Dallas, unless someone drops them off, but they usually stay in the area and then they go to the blocks where they can get picked up at. They can't afford a car. A lot of them just got to America. A lot of them don't. They just have enough money to just pay their rent, pay for food, and just get by through the day. So I'm like, that's just plain, they just bullying them. Bullying never stops. I'm like, when you bullying day laborers, bullying homeless people, bullying black people, bullying poor white people, bullying Asian people, bullying people in general is bullshit.
Amen.
I'm like, the strong want to bully the weak, and then police officers, I swear to God,
and they'll always find a reason. No, wait. And they'll always find, speaking of bullying people, and this one you brought to my attention. It doesn't matter where you at, what the setting are, people will find a frickin' reason.
Tonight, a Howard County father is speaking out after he says his daughter targeted with racial slurs during a volleyball match between Duke University and Brigham Young last week. And he says BYU's apology after the fact just isn't good enough. What Duke volleyball player Rachel Richardson says she heard during a women's volleyball match against Brigham Young University on Friday is not sitting well with her father.
No student athlete should ever have to go into any venue and be subjected to that kind of an atmosphere.
Brigham Young University officials addressing the storm of controversy.
There were some egregious and hurtful slurs that were directed at members of the Duke University women's volleyball team.
In a statement, BYU expressed regret and banned the fan from the university's athletic venues.
Do not cross the line where you would hurt or harm anyone in any way.
Actions, the Ellicott City father says, did not go far enough.
First, anger, outrage, and then, just a real need to make sure that something was done to correct that.
The 19-year-old sophomore disappointed BYU officials failed to act swiftly after the incident was reported.
She was crying, she was upset, and Rachel's not the person who calls and cries over a loss.
Now, BYU Director of Athletics Tom Holmoe said in a statement on Twitter yesterday that he stands with his team's coach, saying Coach Heather Homestead has herself been targeted with personal attacks and death threats. Holmoe called it, quote, completely unacceptable.
Isn't Brigham Young
Brigham Young University, yeah.
Are they Ivy League? Am I correct?
Well, they're over there in the Pac-10.
But they're pretty
not the Ivy. The Ivy's east. So you're
okay, but they're pretty much
they're a Pacific Coast team, yeah.
But they're a school known for academic awards, and they're held pretty high academically. Am I correct? Something like that.
Oh, Brigham Young, yes.
Okay. Well, you know what's sad about this, Tim? Because a young black lady, she probably busted her ass in high school, all through school. That could have been her dream school to go to, whether it's for volleyball or academics.
Duke.
And then have to
Now,
experience
she's from
that
Duke,
kind of
apparently.
Huh?
She's from Duke.
Okay, yeah. So
that apparently was visiting BYU during the volleyball.
Yeah, well, I'm saying she could have bust her ass to go to Duke because she could have went to maybe she went to a historically black college. She wouldn't be at Duke playing at school. That never would have happened, But she wanted to go to that school, Duke, and then compete in that arena, that area, that type of environment, which is a very competitive environment, and you competing with some of the smartest young minds in our country, and have to experience something that negative. And it's bad on it's a bad look for BYU itself because since they didn't act swift enough, it's like, oh well. But had that things been switched, if the white privilege wasn't there, had it been a white kid with saying cracker or this, it probably been way bigger.
We have no idea what the slur was now, do we?
No, we don't, but we know it's bad.
But we have it. But what's interesting, I want to read a little thing that was put out by Duke. When last night's behavior was initially reported by Duke, there was no individual pointed out, and despite BYU security and event management's efforts, they were not able to identify a perpetrator of the racial slurs. It wasn't until after the game that an individual was identified by Duke that they believed was the one who uttered the slurs and exhibited problematic behaviors.
Okay, you know what kills me? If they knew it was going on during the game, why didn't Duke nor BYU stop the game? Why didn't Duke side say, you know what, fuck this, we're not playing. We're not playing this environment. We're not taking that kind of use from, it's not going to be given
from
to
this
our
BYU crowd.
White
right. And
we're not going to let.
And how did you decide at the time? I mean, how did they finally get to the point? I mean, did somebody finally, have a conscience and say, it was this guy down here that was shouting that stuff out, which right?
Tim, if it was happening, they knew during the game. So it happened during the game and they knew it. So Duke should have stopped and said, that's enough. We're not letting her be subjected to that kind of treatment. We're not going to let her, whether she's black, whether she's white, whether she's a female or a male, whether she's this or this, we're not letting these students, these fans treat. It's not a professional basketball team. Professional basketball players should not have to go through that. Surely college players should not have to go through that.
That's why I wanted to point that out there a little. Despite BYU security and event management's efforts, they were not able to identify the perpetrator.
They got to cut that out, man. That's so old. That racism and You know,
It's
it's different when you just doing some comedy shit or you
purposely,
purposely, and you know what's going on. Yeah.
You know, I'm coming to you, Larry. There's a guy back here yelling honky, honky, honky every time I serve the ball. You know, it's really distracting. Okay, and then you walk back, and what? You can't, and I'm still hearing it, and you can't. I mean, what are you, tone deaf?
Hey,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm your coach. I'm gonna protect my players. I'm gonna say, stop the game.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the game. Let's go. Everybody go. I'm by my team. Let's go. Let's go. We'll stop the game. Then we'll address it with them, and then we'll blow it up. You got to boycott that stuff, man.
I believe so
forgot
too.
about boycotting.
I'm probably more than anything a little bit disappointed with the BYU fans. You know, Brigham Young University is a religiously based university.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think that their moral values and ethics would tell them that that is not proper behavior and that they should either tell that person to shut the fuck up, which isn't Christian, or tell the authorities it's this person right down there doing it.
Man, listen, I'm
disappointed in the crowd. As much as the person that's yelling, as much as the whole thing, how could there that many people in a game that would have obviously also heard this?
That many people are racist. And that's how people are. One person to say something, if nobody else says anything, they're going to say it again. If one person says something like that and 5 or 6 people jump on their ass, they will shut the hell up. But if nobody says anything, they're going to say it. Yep. They're going to they're going to do it. They're going to do it. That's the nature of people. It's like the group of people don't want to say nothing because they're afraid the other group is going to say something to them because that person said something. And that's how weak people are, and that's how it goes in our society. You don't have too many leaders. People stand up and say something. I wouldn't let it happen. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't. I tell on you. I'm like, I hate racism.
I can't stand it. No.
Whether I make fun of it or not, I make fun of racism all the time, but I despise it. I hate it. Racism just holds people back and hurts people. That's all it does. I hate it. I've been a victim of it, you know, and I just hate it. And I've seen white people victims of racism. I've seen Hispanic people be victims of racism. Asian people. I've seen everybody endure racism. I just hate it because it's an ugly beast and it doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit the people that are dishing it out or receiving it.
No. I mean, and there's racism today, you know, and it doesn't matter black on black, white on white, you know,
racism is racism.
Brown on brown. And some of it transpires from, you know, hundreds of years, you know, that some type of a transgression of, you know, happens. So I don't like this particular ethnicity because, you know, this happened. And now forever, you know, you're labeled a person that I can't stand. And you see that in a lot of cultures.
What's crazy about the black and white thing, though? Because we didn't come over here and enslave Caucasian people and make them our slaves, our property, and then they didn't have to work themselves out of servitude and they wasn't free. So why are they so angry at the black race when we were enslaved and treated like that? Why are they so angry at us? I always try to figure that out. Why is the white race got all this hostility towards the black race when we were the ones that were enslaved and treated like shit, treated like crap here in America? They were treated like crap in their own country before they got in America, you know, and then we became the recipients of the bullshit.
Yeah, you think about it. Yeah, why did you leave? Why did you leave France? Why did you leave Ireland? Why did you leave England? What, for what? Great. For religious freedom, for freedom from persecution, and yeah, look what you did.
And come over here and just do the same shit. You got bullied over there, and you come out here and bully people now over here.
When you think about
racism ain't nothing but
why bullying. Did they leave the country of their origin? Because they were getting bullied.
Racism is another word for bullying somebody.
So yeah, you know,
it's just
and
pick the poison.
You know, I can't answer that freaking question.
You can bully somebody economically. You can bully them physically. You can bully them psychologically. Those are 3 main ways to bully people: physically, psychologically, and economically. And then countries that just and people specialize in doing that. They don't have to do that. I ain't never seen nobody bully anybody with love. Man, I'm gonna give you all this love whether you want or not.
You know, speaking of people giving love, Larry. You said you lead me right into your favorite part. And this has to, and it's all about love, right? So let's check out.
This is gonna be good.
Our asshole of the week, and it's really all about love.
Shut the fuck up! Who do you think you go back to India? Go back to India. Why? We don't want you here. We don't want to hang out with you. We don't want you here. If they are so great in your country, then stay there. You're such a bitch, man. Don't fuck with me. We were not talking to you. You came here. Get lost. Your fucking curry. Oh, come closer. Come closer. Oh my God, guys, record. She's hitting me. She's hitting me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, she's hitting me. She's hitting me. Fuck y'all. Fucking curry ass bitches. Hello, yes. We are in the parking lot of 59 and this
Bitch.
Wait, wait.
Bitch.
That's from your neighborhood calling those, making that whole scene.
From Texas.
That was Esmeralda Upton of Plano, Texas.
I'm glad you ain't from Orleans.
That's close enough. Plano, what?
She ain't from
40-minute drive at the most. Come on now, Larry.
She ain't from Orleans.
Plano is in your neighborhood. So Esmeralda Upton of Plano, Texas, she was charged with assault and making a terrorist threat.
That was real smart of her.
And put on a $10,000 bond. That happened on August 25th this year, by the way. So it's about a week old, but thought we would share our asshole of the week. And man,
Texas has got, 3 assholes of the week so far? I think we've beaten everybody right now.
I can't believe that. Man, I mean, and just walk up there and just start pimp slapping that woman. I mean, wow.
What? Probably a parking space or something. You know, it kills them. Go back to your country. I'm like, bitch, where's your country? I'm like, you know.
Yeah, you curry eating. Go back to your country, you curry eating, stinky, fucking. I was like, what?
I don't see this. I'm glad it wasn't no sister, because they'd have drugged the shit out of her ass. They wouldn't have called the cop. They'd have beat the hell out of that lady and left her laid out in the middle of the street.
My God, it wouldn't have been good.
There wasn't no sister.
Now, I hope you enjoyed this week's asshole. So, yeah. So I'd like to thank Esmeralda Upton of Plano, Texas, and maybe everybody could befriend her. Thank you, Esmeralda. Everybody could be a buddy with her on Facebook. Everybody could Facebook her.
We put on our hate book page. You know, Tim and I are developing a hate book page. Esmeralda, you're going to be on our hate book.
We ought to do that, man. Oh, let me get to you, my friend. Hang on. Oh, shoot. That's funnier than a smack. Anyhow, Larry.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Larry Estelle from LRE Fitness. I'm a certified personal trainer from through NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. You can check me out on Facebook at Estelle Junior Larry, or you can check me out on Facebook, of course, again, LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. And IG, Estelle Junior Larry, LRE Fitness Solutions. My tip of the week is this. Beginning people that are starting in the gym, if you're lifting weights, be smart, be simple. Use machine weights. Machine weights are good for beginners because they have a mechanical advantage. You don't have to worry about picking up free weights and losing your balance and stuff like that. And also on free weights, you can also, they have descriptions on how to work out, use the machine. So beginners, just make sure if you don't have a personal trainer, make sure you just maybe YouTube some stuff or workout or body part you want to do and go into the gym and start with machines. And then if you get your money, you get more money or have more time, then go ahead and find your personal trainer to fit your needs. If anybody here is locally in Texas area, DFW looking for a trainer, check me out on Facebook. I have reasonable rates. And that's my tip for the week. If you're a beginner, use machine weights. You'll never fail. That's all I got, Tim.
Is that all you got, my friend? Anyhow, hey, well, Esmeralda might need a personal trainer to take care of herself after everybody finds
I'm
out.
gonna push her. I'm gonna make sure I put her a lot of
Get her on hate book. Get her on hate book
in the gym.
Hey, anyhow, let's talk a little bit about, and I mean, you kind of led into it, Larry, and that's develop an action plan for yourself. And, when you decide what you want to do is define what goal you want. And I think Larry hit that one, and get a clear idea on what you want to achieve. And list those tasks. If you have a goal, how am I going to get there? And you have to identify critical tasks. What do I have to do at a certain day of the week to get to where I want to go? So assign those tasks to a day of the week. Assign it, if you're in a business environment, assign that task to a coworker as part of your teamwork. And, always when you have a action plan that you're trying to develop, you're trying to work on, no matter if it's in business and or if it's just working out, step back, assess what's going on, and make improvements if necessary, and keep developing that action plan. People, you'll get it right. Well, I swear to God, you'll get it right. But hey, it's all trial and error, and that's what life is all about, is trial and error. Am I right, Larry?
That's it, man. With dreams, you got to have goals to meet your dreams, and you got to be consistent.
But anyhow, hey, I hope we filled your mind with all kinds of boggling information that you think that the world really is one great big toilet. Well, but you're right, folks. Hey, and until next week, Larry and I say, hey, peace, and we'll holla.